These are 3 things that helped me get a six-pack within a month. The first thing you need to do is prioritize your nutrition. Over everything, you're not gonna outwork a poor diet. So making sure you're eating enough protein, making sure that you're hitting your macro ratio in general. Something that helped me out was eliminating sides like sauces, drinks like soda, anything that's gonna have a lot of carbs like juices, things that are gonna be easy to go over your excess macros or excess calories in your daily diet. So if you don't already know how many calories you should be eating or what your macro ratio should be for your goal, because everybody's gonna have a different maintenance of how many calories you should be eating. So first you need to figure that out. You can use MyFitnessPal. It's an application that's free on the App Store where you can download it, put in some of your basic information, your height, weight, age, gender. It's gonna give you some set parameters for how many calories you should be eating a day, how many grams of protein, carbs, and fats that you should be eating on a daily basis to hit your calorie goal. And once you have some experience, or once you have a understanding of how many calories you should be eating a day to maintain your current weight, if you are okay with the weight that you're at, but you want to start to lean out, or you want to actually change your body composition, because it's not just about losing weight. If you want a six-pack, I have some pictures of me at 190 pounds without a six-pack and me at 190 pounds with a six-pack. And it wasn't that I lost weight, it was that I changed what I was eating. I didn't change the amount of calories that I was eating. What I changed was the macro ratio. And the macro ratio is gonna be the amount of protein, carbs, and fats that you're eating within your calorie expenditure. So if you know that your calorie expenditure to maintain weight at 190 pounds is 2,500 calories or 3,000 calories, then if you just want to lean out but stay the same weight, you don't change the calories, you just change the macro ratio. And the main thing that you have to change is just the protein intake. You have to increase the protein intake to hit a certain amount. If 30% of the calories that you're eating is protein and you increase that to, let's say, 40 or 50%, you're gonna see a change in your body's composition. You're gonna lean out. You're actually going to be able to grow more muscle without necessarily changing weight, because you're not changing the amount of calories that you're eating. So your body will start to lose fat and gain muscle and change in composition just by changing the amount of macros that you're eating, and as far as the ratio. So if the main thing that you will need to prioritize is protein over the amount of carbs and fats that you're eating, and just adjust whatever feels good to you. If some people like higher fats and less carbs, and some people like more carbs and less fats in their diet. I personally feel really good with the high fats, and that's gonna make a difference in how you feel, how much energy you have throughout your day. So being able to balance that out and kind of figure out what works for you is gonna be up to you. But if you're prioritizing, hitting 200 grams of protein a day, you will start to lean out and you'll look more muscular, and now that will help you. So that's the first thing, is literally just increasing your protein intake, not changing your calories, and prioritizing your protein over your other macros, as far as like making sure you're getting that protein in, and then picking what you want to prioritize as far as getting the fats in or carbs in. The second thing is actually hitting abs consistently, because before I would barely hit abs. I would do it maybe once a week, or once every 2 weeks. I wouldn't really prioritize it in my lifts, but now I started to include it in my warm-up. So I would start with abs and I would just get it out of the way, And the best exercise that helped me build my abs was the hanging leg raises. Making sure that when you bring them up, you're breathing out, so you're getting that full crunch. Yeah, so doing that every single day and just pushing yourself I really only did like 3 sets of maybe 10 to 15, depending on how many you can do. And that alone gave me the best pump. I hit the most of my abs, because sometimes depending on the ab exercise, you feel just more the upper abs or the lower abs. Actually just doing the hanging leg raises alone made a big difference, and I got the best ab pumps from that as well. Like, you can clearly see a difference in my abs just from hitting 3 sets of hanging leg raises. The next one was actually the crunch machine, or if you don't have a crunch machine in your gym, just getting the cables on the tricep extension rope and using it as a cable and then crunching with that as well. And because you're able to use weight on that was another exercise that really helped me build my abs and feel them. So it wasn't just like crunches or anything like that where it's body weight, but you're actually able to use weight to put some stress on the core. So just making sure that you're actually prioritizing abs and hitting them multiple times a week or every day, including it in like your warm-up, is gonna make a big difference. And I was able to see my abs like within a month of doing those 2 things. The third one, and the third and final thing is the most important thing that you should be doing when you're doing an ab exercise, and that's exhaling deeply. You want to let go of all of your breath every time that you're doing the crunch movement, every time you're flexing your core. Before, what I was doing whenever I would hit abs is I would just hold my breath in, or I didn't care about the way I was breathing when I was doing the exercise. But once I started to incorporate exhaling deeply whenever I was doing the crunch movement, or whenever I was doing the leg lift, at the part of the movement where you're flexing your core the strongest. So if you're crunching, you're crunching and you're exhaling deeply. Just by exhaling all the way, you'll feel that your core starts to tighten up. And if you're exhaling all of your breath, you will feel your core at its maximum contraction. So when you're doing the leg lifts as well, you're letting go of all of the air in your lungs and flexing your core as hard as you can. And the reps will be more effective if you're focused on your breathing, if you're focused on exhaling every time you're doing the movement. So whenever you're flexing your core at that point, make sure that all of your breath is exhaled. That's something that changed the game for me as far as when I'm hitting my ab exercises. It allowed me to get a lot more sore. It allowed me to feel the core more and build it. They essentially would get a better pump every time I would do it, because I was actually engaging my core and the abs fully rather than just doing the movement. So those are the top 3 things that helped me get a 6-pack within a month. I didn't have it when I started. I had built my core, but you couldn't see it because of my body composition. And then switching those 3 things and incorporating those things allowed my abs to actually pop out and for you to see them. So please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments if any of these things helped you out.